Thank you, Emily. Thank you, Find Spark team. Real quickly, congratulations. 5 years to run an organization is amazing. And yeah, I spoke at the first event. I thought it was so great to see how much it's grown. 5 years ago, we had no Find Spark. We had no Snapchat, no Tinder, no Keynotes, no Drake, right? It's amazing to see how Find Spark has grown so much. When I started, with my first talk, I think my biggest tip was for networking, you guys got to treat each other like friends. You guys got to be homies, right? And that's still my philosophy. It's like I've met so many people from Find Spark that's really connected with me, and I've helped them, they've helped me. It's a community, and it's wonderful to see how it's grown to be just something that's helpful for the New York City community and beyond as well. Building Beats is an organization I started actually 2 years ago based on my passions. I am actually a DJ. I've been DJing since 2001, so that's 14, almost 15 years. And being a DJ, I learned so many different business skills, entrepreneurial skills from it. I learned how to throw events, learn how to connect with people, learn how to market myself. I realized this was a skill that was useful for anyone. If you want to be an entrepreneur, starting out by being a DJ and learning how to hustle was like such a good way to teach kids how to do it. So I came up with my idea that I wanted to work with youth and really teach them music production and DJing, not to make them the next Kanye West, the next Dr. Dre, or the next Jay-Z, but it was really to make them the next Kanye West, Dr. Dre, and Jay-Z. By helping them build their own businesses, right? You look at these artists, and they're more than just rappers and singers and musicians. Dr. Dre started a headphones company after his whole music career and sold it to Apple. So these different skill sets that I learned from just DJing myself is what led me to start Building Beats. And there was definitely a lot of problems when I started. There was so much trouble. We were all volunteer driven. It's only been the last 1.5 years where I've been able to hire staff to really run Building Beats. Now we've grown. We're working at 17 different schools throughout New York City in after-school programming with the same concept, really teaching beat making, but through it, teaching life leadership and business skills. And we always believe is a little bit of creative confidence leads to a lot of confidence in everything else. It's amazing to see some of our 8th graders come out with a new song every week. They're listening to the same music we do. I just heard a new Fetty Wap music or a remix from like one of our kids in Bushwick. And we're working with really awesome programs. Just 5-10 minutes ago, we just ended a workshop up in the Bronx at a detention center. So working with youth there, teaching them how beat making can be a positive thing in their lives. Just today, we just finalized a contract with a battered women's shelter in East New York, bringing our same programming there. And it's really amazing to see where we've gone. Looking back, it seems like it was a huge leap, but through it was a lot of tiny steps to really get there. From there, I learned so many different things to be successful. Persistence is so important. Having just the right mindset and building the right habits to get to where you're at is so important. And there were so many times where I was like, I don't know if this whole idea of teaching kids how to become business people from DJing actually makes sense. But we've built the curriculum through the last 2 years. And it's to the point where Carnegie Hall wanted to work with us, and we just finalized a partnership with Carnegie Hall this past year. We applied for a grant together with Carnegie. We did a pilot program. We brought the first digital music production workshops to Carnegie Hall. So it's crazy for me to see how just an idea of what really was my passion of DJing led me to do something that's helpful for the community. Now we're just based in New York, 16 different schools, some community centers. But really our goal is to be in every school in New York. And from there, we want to be in every school in America. It's going to be a huge step if we're really thinking about doing that. But from where we've been these last 2 years, from really nothing to where we're at now, we've worked with over 1,000 kids on a weekly basis. I think it's, just the tiny steps to keep it really easy. And then looking back, it'll look like it's a crazy giant leap. So that was really my story for the past 5 years. And it's amazing to see where Building Beats has been and where Find Spark has gone for the past 5 years. So congratulations again.
I will say, though, that I am kind of mad at you because I thought I was going to be sitting, but I'm standing, so I'm a little nervous. No, but I'm going to start off by, Emily had said if we could share some tips for us to do so, and I'm going to be a little corny, and I'm going to start off with some quotes. How many of you have heard of Peter Drucker? Not many of you, right? Corny, I know. But I'm going to start off with 3 quotes, and I think that this is kind of these are the things that I sort of use to kind of keep my head in the game. And the first quote from Peter Drucker is, efficiency is not doing things right, but effectiveness is doing the right things. So, we can be efficient, but being effective is something totally different, right? So we can be doing things right, and we can, we're going to grad school, so we're doing things right, but, one of the things that we can be effective in is coming to these networking events, right? So you guys, I think, are all being very effective. Time is the scarcest resource, and unless it is managed, nothing else can be managed, right? So time is of the essence, and time runs out really quickly, and although we think we have all the time in the world, in reality we don't. So I think that we have to live in every moment and really take all of the moments, and I mean not take every moment for granted, right? And one of my quotes is, rejection is good. Maintain a positive attitude, and everything happens for a reason. I think sometimes we get scared of our life path, and we don't know sort of where we're going in life, but uncertainty is good, right? So I guess I can start off by how I met Emily. I met Emily and the Find Spark team about 3 years ago. I came to the Find Spark conference, and there I'll be honest. At first, I really didn't like to meet people. I was like, I don't want to talk to you. This is so awkward. But Find Spark pushed me, and I started talking to people. I was like, all right, this is not that bad. I don't think I'm socially awkward, so this is great. So I met wonderful people, and from Find Spark, I met a mentor, and he actually ended up working in the same building that I was at the time. So ended up working great. I spoke to him, and through him, I met, and I got over 4 interviews in 3 months, and that's when I ended up at Warner Music Group. At Warner Music Group, I was a talent acquisition analyst, and I sort of did the recruitment analytics there. And now I'm at the U.S. Fund for UNICEF, and I manage the internship program as well as the entry-level positions. What else do I say? I mean, my story is as exciting as Fee's. I don't know how to make beats. I suck. I will say that I'm a dancer, so I can dance to the music that you produce, but yeah, I think that's my story, and I think that you guys are all doing a great job by coming here, connecting with one another, so that's awesome.
Hi, everyone. I'm going to stand a little bit closer, even though it's a little bit awkward. Hey, how's it going? I'm Janelle. Hi, as Emily said, I'm Janelle Abrahami. I'm a Campus 2 Career Coordinator at NBC Universal. So what does that mean? I work very closely with the intern and early career populations within the company to develop them professionally and introduce them to the world of work and help them set themselves up for success in their early careers as young professionals. So kind of like a mini Find Spark in a larger organization, kind of. Not as cool though, we don't have stickers. But like Emily said, I first got involved with Find Spark when I was a junior in college. I was at my very first networking event ever. I was interning in beauty PR. Like, I don't know. I literally couldn't tell you why. But it was unaffiliated with Find Spark, but Emily was there spreading the word about something called Find and Follow Your Passion. I had no idea what it was. I was kind of overwhelmed, but she seemed really cool, so I signed up, and the next week went to my second ever networking event. It was a larger scale conference similar to what is now Find Spark Fest. And the event was coordinated and executed flawlessly, and I came away with so much inspiration and so many ideas of how I could move my professional life forward. And I think that's the biggest thing I've taken away from my involvement in Find Spark is not one tip or tool or strategy, but the understanding that my career is solely and completely up to me. If I have a goal and I'm interested in something, it can totally happen and I can get there, but I have to put in the work. I have to raise my hand. I have to put myself out there and pursue those opportunities. No one else, just me. And that's what I did. It's exactly what I did. I pursued an internship at NBC Universal through authentic networking. FindSpark had a part in that as well, and got that internship throughout my time there. Took away from lessons from FindSpark like informational interviews and professional presence. And I was offered a full-time job before my graduation, and I've been with the same team for now almost 2 years. And FindSpark had a huge, huge part in that. So, you know, now that I'm here, it's incredible, and I really just thank FindSpark so much. I hope you guys really utilize what they have to offer you. And it's great to come to these events, but following through on who you meet and what you learn, put your accomplishment up on the accomplishment wall, compliment someone else on what they've achieved, build those organic relationships, keep coming back, follow through, and that will really set you up for success. So, yeah.
Thank you again to the FindSpark team. What they do is amazing, but they're also great people. So thanks, guys. First of all, this is completely surreal because a couple months ago I was sitting out there at recent grad boot camp, terrified, basically. When was I going to get a job? How was I going to pay my rent? A lot of different things were floating around in my head, but I was determined, and I knew eventually I was going to get that job that I'd always dreamed of, and it happened. I'm now the content and social curator at Livestream. I started about 5 weeks ago, so our offices... Thank you. It's better than I could have ever imagined. Running all of their social channels, writing all the content for their blog, for a new blog that I'm coming out with, very exciting, for their website. It's incredible, and I could not have done it without the FindSpark team and all of their guidance. Whether it be about cover letters, about building a website, about building a resume, connecting with people, networking. They really just taught me everything I needed to know about getting my dream career, and I thank them for that. So I kind of wanted to start, although I guess I already started my speech. I wanted to start back at the beginning when I first found out about FindSpark. I was studying abroad in Brussels, and I think it was like spring semester 2014, and I knew that summer, I was like, Carly, you need to get to New York City. You need to be there. That's where all the best companies are. You want to work in marketing. You want to work in entertainment. You don't really know what you want to do, but you want to do something creative, and that's the best place to be. So I Googled, actually, New York City plus internships, and because of their SEO practices, probably, FindSpark came up, and I was like, hey, what is this? And I saw their job board and their blog posts and everything, and I was like, this is amazing. This is everything I could have asked for and more. Every internship, every job I was interested in was there, all the advice I needed, and it was just kind of that one-stop shop for everything I needed. Unfortunately, that summer I was not in New York City. I applied to about 50 internships, and a lot of them did not work out. But I ended up in Washington, D.C. at a digital consulting firm, and I kind of pledged to myself that I would be in New York City that next summer. And that's what happened after, so I did that internship, and then after a year of connecting with them, going to conferences, like Emily said, I went to Find and Follow Your Passion, and I was so nervous. I came up for the weekend, and I stayed with my friend from high school, and I went, and first of all, I met so many great people, and it was just it was easy. It was easy to meet people. And I made a friend, like right off the bat, actually Megan Detry, who works at L'Oreal now, thanks to FindSpark. So she was kind of my buddy at the conference. And I met so many great people at NBC, at Wix, at like all of these great companies, and it was an amazing opportunity, and I learned that I love networking, and I love talking to people. And after that, I kept in contact with people from the conference, and I ended up being a campus ambassador the next semester, which was great. I ended up promoting FindSpark on all of like GW's social channels to all of our groups, and even getting a few of my friends involved, bringing them to FindSpark Fest, and just showing them what a great community FindSpark is. And actually, to flash forward a bit, just make this quicker. Flash forward a bit, I got my internship this past summer on the FindSpark job board at Group SJR, which is about 2 blocks away, ish. And I loved it, and it was, I mean, I wouldn't have, thanks. I wouldn't have gotten it if it wasn't for FindSpark, because it was on their board. I used FindSpark to apply. I used all of the techniques and tidbits and different advice that they gave me and with my resume and cover letter and website and everything like that, and that's how I landed it. And that was a great experience, and it brought me to New York, and it got me my apartment, and it got me integrated in the city, and that was great. But I guess my main point of my speech is, after the internship, I did not get a job there, not because of me, but because of, circumstances. But I was very down on myself, and I was very disappointed, and I was, like I said, how was I going to find a job? How was I going to pay my rent? And my only advice to you guys is just to keep going, and don't get disappointed, don't get discouraged, keep sending off those resumes, keep sending the cover letters. Seriously, customize every cover letter the best you can. That's all I can tell you, because they notice. Like at the company I'm at now, they always get cover letters, and they're like, this person did not even try. so definitely do that. And after a couple months, I got this job at Livestream, and it's been the best experience of my life. And it's basically thanks to FindSpark. So thanks, guys. Thanks.
I come to each of these events thinking that I'm not going to be nervous, and each time I'm more nervous. So I've got to really figure this out. So thank you all so much for sharing time this evening and being a part of this amazing community. My story is super simple. 5 years ago, I was in these rooms, in these events, trying to land my first internships, in technology. Being at a startup here in New York was what I was passionate about. I'd showed up at college, planning to be, a physicist and planning to be a professor. Turns out I'm garbage when it comes to physics. And so to very quickly, kind of pivot my strategy a little bit, I think I needed to, try to find other skills and talents. And I was very lucky to find that in getting rooms like this together, and getting people together was something that, I was always very passionate about. And so I spent all my time at school trying to get friends together to work on projects, work on building companies together. And fast forward a little bit, I'm super lucky to do that now as my full-time focus as a venture capital investor. So, I think part of my inspiration and part of what gets me so excited to be back here is, just remembering being in each of your shoes. Remember being super nervous, to print business cards, super nervous to network. But I think what's important to realize is, people are the fundamental units of companies, movements, cities, everything that you want to be a part of. There's a person or a group of people behind it. And you should seize every opportunity you can to meet those people that are behind the scenes, building the things that you're excited about, that you're passionate about, and to try to, in your own way, be an orchestrator and contribute in the areas where you can. I think, Emily, 5 years ago, crafted this community to solve a need that she saw. I think in so many ways, each of you should, take it upon yourself to do very similar things, and to, if there isn't something that exists a part of this community today, you should, identify it, build it, collaborate with other folks, and never be afraid to do stuff that's outside the status quo, because I think if you don't do that, you're not going to do as many interesting things as you can. And so, I'm very lucky today to be back here in New York. Quick anecdote. Earlier today, I was meeting an investor who, literally her intern the summer that I came to this event 5 years ago is now one of my best friends, and now we're doing an investment together. And if you told me 5 years ago that something like that could be possible, I would have been like, jokes all around. You know what I mean? But literally that was earlier today. That was a coffee I had. And never think that these things aren't possible, and really appreciate how quickly things can unfold, and how quickly you can change your focus, change your areas, and to really quickly unfold things. And I think so much has been accomplished in the past 5 years in this community and each of your lives. Just imagine what's possible for the next 5 years if one evening a week you make sure to come to an event like this and meet one person new, or you send one email to a CEO or someone whose career looks fantastic and you want to learn more. I think these things compound over time much more quickly than we give them credit for. And so I would encourage all of you to make those investments early on, because sure enough, 2 years down the road, 3 years down the road, these things kind of come back. And so today, I'm back here in New York dedicated to helping build up the ecosystem here for entrepreneurs, for technologists, for groups of young people like you. You know, I spend all my time trying to empower individuals to start companies, to join startups, and to really build up what I view as, you know, one of New York's, you know, emerging and kind of core strengths with this, which is technology, which is entrepreneurship. And I'm lucky to be in a venture capital role to do that, to you know, help each of you find your way into startups or build companies when the time is right. And you know, I'm super privileged to have been the beneficiary of so many folks that took a coffee meeting with me, you know, kind of, you know, shook my hand and made me feel comfortable in a room like this when it's so easy to feel intimidated and so easy to feel like, you know, I'm so young, I've accomplished a little, like, you know, you can get past all of those things and change them all super quickly within the blink of an eye. And so you know, I couldn't be more indebted to Find Spark, to friends like Emily, to peers like each of you. I think, you know, one of the things I'd also stress is just totally take a few minutes and get to know the people next to you. These are going to be co-founders, friends, significant others, you know, like everything is possible in a way. You know, I truly mean that. And so, you know, just take advantage. This is a really phenomenal, high quality community to be a part of. This is a fantastic room to be in tonight on a Thursday evening. You could have each been doing so many different things, but you chose to be here. You chose to be productive and focused and collaborative and to build your networks. And I commend you on that. And so I'm grateful to be in this room this evening. I'm grateful for all the work that Emily's done for me and for creating a space like this. And I'd love to help anyone in any way that I can. So thank you for sharing this evening. Woo.
All right, guys. So can we give one more huge round of applause to our amazing keynotes? Be sure to say hi to them. I don't want to take up too much of your time, but I have a few more things to share. I'm sure you've all heard our story in some way, shape, or form, but I want to emphasize that we started by noticing and filling a gap, right? So I was in a lot of your shoes, everyone's shoes at some point, right? And I noticed something was missing, and I took the initiative to build it. And it's been a really, really long journey, but it's because of the amazing support of all the people in the room, of the Find Spark team. And I really think at its core, why we've been successful is because of these three things. I think everybody has a deep-rooted need. They want to be connected. I think everybody also wants to share what they have to offer, right? So mentoring, and everybody wants to feel empowered. I think like deep in everyone, even if you don't feel confident or you don't feel like you know what's next, you have that within you. And so, you know, Find Spark does all of those things, and we fill the gaps of education, we fill the gaps of access and opportunity, and we're really grateful for that. And I think oftentimes what we've seen is that people can get lost in the goal. So you think, you know, I just want to get into that industry, or I just want to get that next internship or that next job. And I think a lot of times you can forget about why. Why do you want that internship? Why do you want that job? And what we believe in is that if people are doing work that they're passionate about, if people are fully working to their potential, then you're going to have the ability to create positive change in the world. And that's what we want. We want everybody to be able to be using their skill sets at their fullest, to be happy, to be productive, so that we can make an impact. So I want to get a little cheesy before we close things off. If everyone wouldn't mind just closing their eyes really quickly. And bearing with me. So one thing that I like to do, I think it's a good time, it's the end of the year, it's just a fun way to be reflective, is just close your eyes if you haven't yet, and just think about all the times that you've been helped by someone. Think about when people have offered a connection, offered to look at your resume, offered to listen to you rant about all the jobs you didn't get. And just all those people and all those times and all the people in your community that are your personal community that have supported you. And just let that positive energy fill you up. I think it can be really easy to let negativity into your mind when you're working really hard to achieve things that are really hard. You can open your eyes now. Working in New York is fucking hard, right? Right? These are the most competitive people on the planet. And there's so much going on, and it can be so easy to let that negativity get to you. And so being in a community like FindSpark, we want you to focus on all the things that you do have in your control. And it's so important to practice that and to practice positivity. So with that, I just want to close with a handful of things that we've learned over the past 5 years, that I've learned and that we've learned through working with so many amazing people. And the first thing is to give yourself the opportunity to get turned down. Because I can't tell you how many people come to us and say, well, I was going to apply for that, but I didn't think I was quite right. Or, well, I didn't go because, I just thought I wasn't going to be good enough. Or, oh, I don't think that person would have wanted to hear from me. You can't be the one to stop yourself from getting opportunities. You have to put yourself out there and be willing to take that risk. Let the other person or the company tell you no, but don't tell no to yourself before you give yourself that shot. And of course, keep showing up, right? We've heard this theme from our other speakers as well. Overnight success is not a real thing. It doesn't exist. Success comes from consistently putting effort towards a specific goal, and it takes a really, really long time. So be persistent. Don't give up on yourself, and keep going. And use groups, communities like FindSpark to talk to people, to of course make sure you're doing things in the right way, right? Being effective, not just efficient, but just remember that things take a long time. And 5 years can seem short, but also really long. But just make sure you keep showing up. And that's how you're gonna stand out. When people ask us, what color do I use on my resume to get the job? Right? That's not a thing, right? You get the job and you get noticed and you stand out by continuously showing up. And with that, remember that you all have really valuable things to offer. I hate the phrase shameless self-promotion, right? You hear that a lot, because I don't think you should ever be ashamed of telling the world what you have to offer. So realize that, and remember always that you have value and you can add value. And on that note, because you all have something of value to add, remember to be generous with that. I think it's of course important to take care of yourself first, because only when you're at your best can you really help other people. And when you're at that point, remember to help other people. I can't tell you how exciting it's been to, now that our community is getting bigger and getting older and doing more and more things, that people within the community are helping each other. The list of people who have gotten jobs, not from the employer, but from the person they were talking to while waiting in line to talk to the employer, just continues to grow, right? So remember, I think if you spend half as much time helping other people as you do, say, applying for jobs, that's always gonna come back to you. And then finally, ending with community is everything. The people you surround yourself have an incredible effect on what you're able to achieve. So always remember how important it is to think about the company that you're keeping and surround yourself with supportive people, surround yourself with positive people, and know that no one gets to wherever they are now on their own. Everybody has a support network, and it's up to you to start building that support network now. Those are two of my favorite new mantras. You might have seen them in our Hustle Summit manifesto. Who's got this hanging up in their cubicle? Anyone, right? We really, really believe in these things. We put this together for our brand new program, Hustle Summit, which we did for the first time last summer, and we're really excited to be bringing it back this January 29th. So with that, I just want to let you know in terms of the future of FindSpark, we're so excited to be growing our team, growing the amount of resources that we create for you, and just know that we are going to continue to create opportunities and create access to those opportunities for the people in our community, and to continue to create really great programs for our amazing employers who want to harness the talent of all of you. And I also want to emphasize that we do this for you. I love getting emails from you all. I want to meet you all. Our team wants to meet you all. We want to know, what are your struggles? What's helped you? What can we do more to continue to help you? Because this is all for you. So remember that. And please, please, please always let us know if you have any feedback. Say hi, reach out. We would love to hear from you. So with that, I want to thank you for being a part of the community. It's wonderful to have you all here tonight, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the night. So thank you so much.